Oh, apparently this is dangerous during earthquakes. I would have never assumed that if that sign hadn't been there. So we're walking towards the east terrace right now. I know there's a west side too, which both were, I believe, built identically. I don't know if their current state is... Oh my god. This is freaking awesome. Good morning, everyone, from our last night in Adiyaman. Well, our only night in Adiyaman. We are about to embark. I don't think I can see it from here. I cannot. But we are about to embark up to Mount Nemrut. We did not do the sunrise thing because in order to go see the sunrise, you got to get up at about 2:30. We have a lot of stuff we're doing today. We aren't just doing Mount Nemrut. We're going to other archaeological sites en route to Senilurfa. So we are not doing the sunrise set. That will just take all of our energy. So we're going to go up there now. It's about, what time is it? About 7 a.m. And I'll see you guys up at Mount Nemrut. We've made it to the Mount Nemrut Visitor Center, which is not the hiking point off yet. We're still going to be driving up a little bit farther for the hike. This is just a little stop for restrooms. I think they have a souvenir shop, things like that. We're going to stop in real quick. I can't see the peak to show you, but I know I took a little video back there. But the ride up here is absolutely beautiful, like with most mountain type drives. Definitely a lot of like fallen looking rocks, so probably springtime when the rocks are tumbling down might be a little more sketchy, but traffic is not bad. There's not a whole lot of people here. We did see some tour buses, and there were definitely large tour groups at our hotel, but I think a lot of them do either sunrise or sunset, and like I said earlier, we aren't doing that, so I think we're gonna have it kind of largely to ourselves. Ooh, look at this view. Oh, it is beautiful. It's beautiful. He had built his, I guess, tomb up here because it just overlooks what was his kingdom for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of miles. You can see the lake down there. You would have been able to see a river, but now it's a lake. To anyone who is not part of a tour that is doing this and is interested in the prices, there you go. This is how they were. They were sitting, all seated, but as of now, they've all been decapitated, whether by nature or vandalism, probably vandalism. This is how they all originally were, but when we see them up there, it's just the heads that they now have standing up in front of the mountains, similar to, I'll show you some of the little statues that you can buy. I'm probably going to buy for my shelf at home, but I think this is like how they have them now. But we'll see for sure when we get up there. Waiting on our Turkish coffee and chai right now.
Besides the dams, I mean, like the climate, it was a little more...
It's humid.
Yeah.
Changed.
Wet, yeah, okay.
We are the only ones up here right now. I mean, I know, like I said, they all do the sunrise set, but I think I would almost prefer this just because we have it to ourselves. Are you friendly? Huh? Huh? You accept it, but you don't care. You're cute. Oh, you got some weird underbite fang. I have never seen that. You see it's fat? It's like underfangs?
Oh, wow.
You have weird teeth.
His teeth are weird.
What?
Look at his teeth.
Oh, yeah.
I've never seen that. We have arrived at the peak of where you are able to drive to. So our hike up begins. I don't think it's very far. I think they said it's like 600 meters. And it's mostly stairs like that. But when you are coming up here, it's so easy to understand why he chose this peak, because the views and the distance in which you can see, especially if there wasn't the mist and fog out there in the distance. So the elevation of this mountain, I don't know at what point, but is almost exactly 7,000 feet. So not extreme, not to the point of Peru where I felt like I absolutely had to have coca leaves or I wouldn't have been able to do it. I ain't no mountain climber, I don't know how people do that crap. So like from a distance, when you're driving up here or when you're even walking up here or hiking up here, you can see it. It very much looks like it's just a ultra pointy, perfectly pointy mountain. But it's not. The actual mound on the top is completely artificial, man-made. That is the tomb itself, which has yet to be excavated. My guess is the hike itself will probably be about 25 minutes to a half hour. I know my mom's back there. She'll make it. This was like her thing that she really, really, really wanted to see on this trip. So I know she's gonna make it. She'll make sure she makes it. So we've apparently ended the newer stairs that have been built, and we are now entering the actual ancient site, which is just rock and pebble. I may be weird in this, but I think I actually prefer walking on this versus the new path that they have built back there. For whatever reason, this feels easier to me. Actually able to see the first remnants of the statues up there. Oh, apparently this is dangerous during earthquakes. I would have never assumed that if that sign hadn't been there. So we're walking towards the east terrace right now. I know there's a west side too, which both were, I believe, built identically. I don't know if their current state is... Oh my god. This is freaking awesome. And I can still see like a half moon over there. Oh my freaking god. This was basically built as a tomb. Oh, it's windy, my hat's not staying on. This was built as a tomb for King Antioch, who considered himself a god, a megalomaniac king. And he wanted to represent that by building himself this up here, where he could have himself seated amongst some of the gods. I don't know. Okay, yes, they do actually have their names down here. They have eagles on both sides, and I believe there was also lions on both sides, but there's only a lion over here now. And then you got King Antioch right here, Antiochus the First. And we got Zeus right here. I think Hercules was over here. And then we got the eagle and the lion. And as you can see, they were all actually seated up there. But I'm glad that they actually have them set up like this now. I'm gonna come up here on this platform so you can see the view. And this is a very different landscape than what it was back in King Antioch's days. It would have been much, much, much more fertile back then with the flowing rivers. It's a little more barren now. It's still freaking beautiful though. I see my mom and my sister are approaching, so they have made it. I'm glad. And I didn't even look at how long it actually took. Let me look at my phone real quick. It took me a little under a half hour, probably about 20-25 minutes to walk up here. That was at a pretty slow, steady pace, and I did stop and sit at one point for a few minutes to let my heart stop beating against my chest. But so they're, even my mom and my sister and stuff, walking at their rate. It's only taken a half hour. So it really is not that bad of a hike. Just make sure you bring some water. It's extremely windy once you get up here. But in September, it is not cold. Like, it feels freaking fantastic right now. So I think I'm gonna wrap around to the west side now. I was incorrect about the one here that I said was possibly another Antiochus one. That is actually Apollo. But it is apparently set up the same on the other side as far as the order and everything goes. And it's just so freaking incredible. I am so happy we have this place completely to ourselves. Woo! Right when you walk around the corner, that wind! I hope someday they can excavate into there. But he was saying every time they try to build a tunnel, the rubble falls back in, which, I mean, isn't surprising because it's just rubble all the way up. There's actually slabs which had other carvings and inscriptions up there that would have wrapped around the sides, but over the 2,000 years since this was built, the weather has worn them down and yeah, completely illegible. You can't see anything at this point anymore on them, so I didn't even bother photoing or videoing them. Just heading around to the west side now. I don't know what this thing is. Yeah, that's got to be like a modern art piece. I think King Antioch would approve that he was still having things made for him 2,000 years later. Oh, that's definitely a modern art piece. It's like a foam, it's all foam. I got a nice little map here showing a bunch of the sites around. We will be going here, Göbekli Tepe tomorrow. We're going to Karahan Tepe, which I think is somewhere over in this area. But that's extremely recently open to the public, so that's not even on this map. Because Göbekli Tepe and Karahan Tepe, where we're going to be going, are from 9,000 BCE. I mean, the absolute oldest megalithic structures that we've ever discovered. It's kind of mind-boggling how old they actually are when you think about them. And I mean, we haven't seen them yet other than pictures and videos. But that was so far before people had actually settled in this single spots to stay. So they had built Göbekli Tepe when they were still a nomadic people and moving from place to place. So it is believed by some to have been a religious site. But it's one of those things I don't know if we'll ever actually know. It's so old that a lot of the stuff will have been destroyed by this point in time. Oh, sadly, I see some other people up here. We were the only ones over there on the other side, but there's a small group of people over here on this side. I'd say this side is not as impressive in general as the east side. So if you want to start with the most impressive, head east. If you want to finish with the most impressive, head west at the start. Yeah, it seems like the actual seated figures, the seated portion of these statues is kind of not even existent at this point on this side. They're completely just rubble stones. But you can still see the heads. And actually up here, I think I'm going to take a shot with my phone because I'll be able to get a better close-up shot. You can see lion more intact than over on the other side. I'm just now seeing that some of those slabs that I was talking about from the east side that are completely destroyed, they actually have some up here on the west side that you can see a bit of. Well, we're finishing up here at Mount Nemrut. It's about to head down the path down there, back to our van, and then heading to a few more archaeological sites. I actually don't know what they are because they aren't ones that I had as part of our itinerary. They had added them for the en route drive to Sinilurfa. But I guess I'll let you know when we get there, and I'm gonna head down. So the entire time, the walk up, the time up there, and the walk down was exactly an hour and a half. You know, I don't feel like we rushed up there or anything. I mean, we were up there for probably a solid 40 or so minutes, and considering there's not a whole lot up there, that was plenty of time. So give yourself about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours if you really want to go slow or take some time. Ain't a long time consuming thing, but we're getting in our van now and heading off to the next site. I failed. I started slipping backwards. The shame about climbing mountains and stuff like that is that you spend so much time looking down at your feet make sure you're not tripping over things because you don't want to take a tumble. But you gotta stop every once in a while just to look out because it's just so freaking beautiful. Well, if you have made it this far and you like these goats, then hit that like button down below, subscribe, and I'll be showing you more ruins in the coming videos.